on the Team Crushing It. Woohoo!
Welcome to the Team Crushing It podcast. I'm so excited for this episode. I'm glad that you're here with us. Remember, share. Remember, be able to pass this on to people if you're getting great nuggets from the things that we talk about in this podcast. This is your place. My name is Ojinga Carr. I'm a certified high performance coach, but this is your place where we teach you how to be able to crush those obstacles that are in front of those goals. How we teach you how to crush those timelines. And really how it is to crush life. I am so excited for this episode because I get the chance to, I'm so lucky. I get to interview such great people. That's what it is, really. And so I get to introduce and interview a young lady who is really climbed the ladder in corporate America, but now has started a small business that is amazing in what it is that it does and being able to help people and what the real thought process is of it and how it is that we get that done. And so I'd like to introduce you to Tina Scales. Tina Scales of Rosalie Organics Beauty and everything you're doing. Tina, how you doing?
I am doing great and honored to be here with you today. So I'm really excited to spend some time with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm excited to spend time with you and talk not only about your business, but really about life, because it's really about how it is that we structure and how it is that we do it. For me, it's all about structuring for me. It's about being able to figure out how we do that. I know we share some HR background stuff, and so I know that's big for you as well. Yes. And so it's all about how it is that we structure and how it is that we build the things that we do in our business. So this episode is going to be phenomenal. Make sure that you're tuning in. Grab your notepads, because we're going to talk about the success recipe and how it is that we get from dream to achieve, and then also how we repeat it, how we're able to put those things in place in order to be able to repeat it. Tell the folks really quickly, though, just about what it is you're doing with your brand now as far as with the organics.
The Organic Beauty, we started roughly about 2 years ago. I started it because my granddaughter was born and we were looking for some products that we could use on her that were natural. My daughter, I should say, is really into clean products. So I got in the kitchen, started to make up a couple things, started using it on my granddaughter. They started sharing it with friends and said, hey, why don't you think about selling it? And so we decided we'll go to a farmer's market when my niece came back from college and sold out. And so that's how Rosalie Organic Beauty was born. So I've been kind of working through that and trying to get it out to the public.
That's amazing. We're going to talk more about that in just one moment. We'll be back with the Team Crushing It podcast.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
And welcome back to the Team Crushing It podcast. So excited to be able to be here. Like I said, get your notes ready because we're talking about how to be able to succeed. And I love getting it from thought leaders across this country. Being able to get to do this live is also awesome as well, too. And so let's talk about how it is we do this. We have Tina Scales here, Rosalie Organics. First of all, tell them a little bit about yourself as far as from the background. You talked about how it is that you end up with the company, but just talk a little bit about your background and like how that all played into this.
Sure. So I started off, my ex-husband was in the military. Mm-hmm. We moved back to Sacramento, California. And at that time, spent a lot of time working with kids, got into not an internship, but with AT&T, and then started working in their training organization and was told early on by one of the managers, this is about as far as you'll be able to go. And found my love for technology and rose up to be an associate director there in the technology space and had been doing major things with the company there on that end, and just now has those skill sets that I've done in terms of onboarding new systems and running systems and processes has now aided me in how I'm doing the development and working through what we're doing at Rosalie.
So tell me about that. What you talked about how you kind of sparked it off, but like, what is a dream of yours as it relates to this business?
A family-owned business, right? I think for certain things when it comes to beauty products, we're underserved in that area in terms of full ownership. Mm-hmm. So I would love to be able to have, create the content, develop it in-house, and then also be able to support and help others on their dreams as well in that space.
Wow. And so like, what does that look like when you are doing that? So tell us more about what it is you create with that. So you're doing body butters, different things. So what are some of the products and things you have?
So right now we're doing body butters, and then we have our lip balm and tub teas. And I've kind of limited specifically and started off with just the body butters because I'm a firm believer in, like you talk about, processes, mm-hmm. right? Building and getting that to the point of where it's doing its best. So we use body butter not just for the natural skin, but also we have like a pain relief butter, right? So we're taking those things of the essential oils and other products to kind of help aid as alternatives as well. So not just making your skin feel good, but also having a benefit.
Yeah, and I mean, that's amazing. And so like, when you got started with it, what was something that made you feel like stopping? What was something that was kind of a block for you as it related with that?
You know, it's just, again, that full-time job. Is this really what you need to be doing? Maybe you're thinking too big in the span of this. There's too many other people out there doing that same thing. And there's a ton of people that are doing several things out there. So I just started to focus in on what our intent was, again, to be a difference in that space, to be organic in nature in everything that we do for what we deliver, and then have that personal relationship with the client, right? It's just not replicating to have hundreds of people, but really connecting with our consumer, understanding what they want, and keeping our foot to the ground with that and organically growing and being true to us.
So when you think about that difference, what is that difference with the organic? What is the difference with the ingredients and the products with that?
The ingredients, we pay attention to where we source those products, right? And also look at, I know people are organic versus synthetic, but it's more or less what does that ingredient do? What does it cause? Because there could be some natural ingredients that are not as good for you as well. Mm-hmm. And being deliberate and being transparent, right, in what we're sharing, right? We wanted people to what we call the IPA, the ingredients, the products that we use, and then the application, right? So we want people to just, whether you're using organic or Rosalie product or just any product. I didn't pause and pay attention to the products until I started making them, and then I started turning the jars on the products that I'm using, and I'm going, I don't even know what this is. What does this do? What is its purpose, right? And so just wanting to guide people in what they're utilizing, understanding its purpose so that you're making the best decisions. We do that with what we take in our body, but not so much on what we put on our body.
That is amazing that you are really looking at not only just trying to sell people stuff, but really educating them about what it is they use. And so that's a really big deal. And so when we come back, we're going to talk more about like that dream and then but what has developed your belief level with that, and what do you continue to do in order to be able to believe to the dream, and how does that affect for other people as well too? So we'll be back with more of the Team Crushing It podcast right here in just one moment.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
And welcome back to the Team Crushing It podcast. I'm your host, Ojinga Carr, certified high performance coach. Just so excited. I can't tell you how excited I am about what it is that we're doing here, and being able to create and being able to push. And so let's talk more. We're here with Tina Scales. She's doing some amazing stuff with organics. And so we talked about like how she came about with the dream of it, but like the success recipe is dream, believe, work, achieve, repeat. Okay, that's the success recipe. So how do you develop personally the belief in yourself in order to be able to do this. So how are you able to do that?
A lot of self-talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get to those points where, again, like you're kind of thinking, am I taking on too much, right? And so it's, again, partnering with people like yourselves and other individuals who can help guide you and walk you through that, right? Because I think all of us go through that point of self-doubt. And the reality of it is, the bigger the fear, I think the bigger the direction that you're headed in. So it's getting past that and not letting that fear stop you. And so those are those things I have to remind myself on a daily basis. So it's like going back and working the process, right? Even when those days are overwhelming, it's kind of like, nope, you have a process. These are the steps. Let's walk through it. And let's do it even when you're afraid to do it.
So that's belief through process, really. So you look at it and say, you have a process, and that comes from the your corporate position with that as well too, because it's about the processes for it. So like, tell me about a time like how in your corporate life that's really come to effect, because that's something that's like affecting you in your business now as well too, as far as just that process piece. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the process is extremely, right now we're using like the agile methodology, right? And that's just being able to be flexible and nimble in what you're developing. So we do a lot of development with tools that we utilize within HR. So with that, you plan it out, you have a goal that you're heading towards, and then you take it in small iterations, right? And you do that self-assessment. Are we on target, or anything that we need to pivot and change from? And that's what we need to do when we're doing our business, right? We need to look at those steps that we're taking, take an evaluation, and then pivot and be okay with pivoting, right? That's a good thing. So I tell people sometimes when it doesn't work out, that's not a bad thing. Yeah. That's actually a great thing, right? It's your ability to assess, and then from that assessment, take action.
Absolutely. And so, when you look at that assessment and then take action, has there been a time in your business that you've kind of assessed something and then said, okay, we need to do something different here in this way?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, several times. And it's been more or less around the time spent, right? I had to really stop and reflect. Because of the work that I do during the day takes up a significant amount of time for the responsibilities that I have there. And I really had to say, is this really what you want to do, right? And that is my dream and my goal, to have this business for the family, and then also be able to affect and be beneficial to the community. So it's had me to do some assessment and being more responsible with my time. Right. So I'm doing that on a constant basis.
That's huge. I mean, because what happens many times when we run a business is that we start treating our business like a job. And then that's a horrible thing, because at a job, you have your certain responsibilities or whatever it is. And then when you start running a business, you start thinking that your responsibility is everything. I call it the entrepreneur defect, honestly, because what happens is that we become defective and start thinking, oh, we got to do everything. I got to do everything. I got to be able to figure out everything. I got to do everything. And all of that starts playing in your mind, and it becomes extremely stressful and difficult in order to do so. So that's something that is huge. I'm glad that you've gotten on top of that, but that comes from that project management type experience that you have with that, because it's about being able to create that and do that. Why should others believe in what it is they're doing?
If you don't, no one else will. Someone can't get behind you if you don't believe it, right? I think just have you walked in a room and the energy of someone else shifts your energy, same thing with our beliefs, right? So if you believe heavily in it, it's going to shift that person's belief in you as well, right?
It's true. That is true. That so is. I mean, and just knowing and understanding that, what that is, as far as that, how you're responsible for. Oprah had on her show, she has a sign before you come in, and she says, you are responsible for the energy that you bring into this place. And so we have to take that self-responsibility and be able to do that. And that's a big driver of our belief system in doing so. And so I can't wait to talk more with you about this. We're going to talk about how we really do the work here in just a moment. We'll be back with more of the Team Crushing It podcast right here.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
Welcome back to the Team Crushing It podcast. I'm your host, Ojinga Carr, certified high performance coach. Happily joined here by Tina Scales. She's doing just amazing things in the organics world, but really just leading people and helping people to understand how it is that you start your own business. I mean, not very many people want to take the risk, first of all, of just going and saying, okay, I'm going to go run my own business and take that step, or start to take the step away from corporate, or start to do that, or even separate. I know that it's fun for people to say, I want to be an entrepreneur, but it is actually not a fun journey many times. Many times it's about how it is we figure out how we do that. And so I want to talk about the work, because that's part of the success recipe, is how it is that we do the work. So thinking about that, Tina, when you are, first of all, about your organics and like what it is you create, why is it that you wanted to create the work product it is as you end up creating from that?
Just because if you watch certain things, there was just such negative reactions with some of the things that we were utilizing on our bodies. So again, when I had my granddaughter, she's super important to me. We had lost my grandson, and so I wanted to make sure she had the best, right? And so that had me going out and doing some research. So I did start doing some studies on the different products that you use. So one of the things that we focus on are using very limited, right? We're very deliberate in the ingredients that we use. I'm not using 500 different types of, items in there. Anything that has a specific meaning and purpose, right? I'm using, ingredient A of the shea because of the benefit that it brings. The coconut or whatever one that we choose, it has a very specific direct purpose, and we limit it to, to those items. So it took me a little bit going back to school and learning about some other stuff that I wasn't, not technology based, but it aided me again in understanding, what those ingredients actually did. And so that was important for me. And I think most individuals now, we kind of see a shift. Now it's come more of a cliche. We want to just have the organic. So I tell people, hey, look, it's more than just the labeling. Take a moment, pause, take a look at what the actual ingredients are and understand what those purposes are. Right, because that's going to tell you if it's going to benefit you, because we're all different, right? And so that's extremely important, even more so than selling the product, right? Just making individuals aware, because once you do that, people will make their natural, connection.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you think about that, also, what are things that are like in your wheelhouse as far as when you do the work? So what are things you love to do as far as that you do as it relates to this?
Creating. I think the technology side of me, I'm always creating and solving, right? I can spend several days with solutions on problems that we have technically wise. And I feel like this is the same, right? I'm looking at a space where how can I create, solve a problem? And then I'm quite honestly working on how I can bring technology into this space as well, right? There's an opportunity there where we can take big data, machine learning, and learn from those things that we're doing. Because the thing of it is, we want to get positive results, and how can we do that? So that's the other space that I'm looking into bringing into Rosalie Organic.
Yeah, that's huge. And so, like, what is something you think that you could delegate more, or that you look as far as delegating?
I laugh about that. A lot. If I'm being honest, a lot. And I think that's important. I think most, like you mentioned earlier, when you're running a business, you think about it, I can only do it. And I had to take that same thing I did when I was running the team at my day job. I learned surrounding yourself or creating a team, right, helping them grow, is when you do that, that's when you gain your best success. And so now it's me taking this in this new avenue, right, looking at those areas of where folks know things better than I do, consulting with them. We're a small business, so I'm kind of leveraging different needs. My niece does really well in marketing. Another one does. My daughter's an esthetician. So taking those groups and kind of spanning that out and looking to further bring in other experts and let me do what I do well, and then learn from those who are doing those other areas that I can't do as well.
Right. That is huge. You're ahead of the game by doing that. Just understand that, because we have to understand it's about how it is that we create a team and how we put that together and do so. When we get back, we're going to talk about how it is that we achieve. Like what's going to happen once you achieve a goal, or what's the thing that you're looking to do, and what's some things we're looking to do that, because I like to be able to ask that question. We'll be back with more of the Team Crushing It podcast right here in just a few moments.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
Welcome back to the Team Crushing It podcast. So excited for you to be here. And we're just, I hope you're taking notes. I hope that you're getting the notes and getting the things down, because lots of gems being dropped, because I love to get varied people's opinions who are all experts about how to be able to get these things done. And we're talking about the success recipe: dream, believe, work, achieve, repeat. And so now we got to talk about achieving. We're here with Tina Scales, Rosalie Organics, burgeoning, growing business that they have. They're doing terrific products that they have. I mean, what does this look like for you? What does it look like for you when you thought about it from this dream of what you want to do? What does Achieve look like for you with that?
Achieve looks like we will be in a building. We will be manufacturing not only for us, but other small businesses. Our goal, again, is not only to help Rosalie, but also to be able to help others as well. And then once we achieve that goal, I'm a very family-oriented person. As I mentioned, my daughter, my nieces, very close with all of them. And just looking to, again, help expand that out with the family and doing something, special together. Taking probably a nice little family trip and just saying, yes, we've done that thing and made that possible with a family business. Because I think most people think that they can't do that. Everyone's kind of doing their own little, wheelhouse in their area, but also collectively coming together for the overall success of Rosalie. So we'll definitely be celebrating as a family.
Absolutely. It's like, where would a family trip be?
Well, we love to go to Barbados.
Okay.
So been dying to go to Turks and Caicos.
Okay.
So we may switch from Barbados and take everybody to Turks and Caicos and just have a really good time and mix a little Mickey in there for the grandkids.
That's it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to do that. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, and the thing is that when you can make it real, that's the thing. When you can make it real, when you can make that real connection to a goal, and this is what it looks like when I achieve it, then it makes this huge difference. So I want you, for a moment, those of you who are listening, think about that. What would that look like for you? What would achieving look like for you? What is the thing that you'd like to be able to get from that? And make it real. We say all the time that we dream in fuzzy black and white, but our nightmares are in 4K color. So we look and we think about all of these horrible things that could possibly happen, and we can really see those. But really, what's going to be like to stop off at Disney World? What is it going to be like to go on to Turks and Caicos? Are you going to have butler service? Are you going to do whatever? What are the things that we're going to do with that? All the different things that go along with that, because the more real it is, the more we push toward achieving those goals. And I know that you've achieved a lot in your life, and I know that you've seen that the more real it is, the more we're able to move that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, just that perseverance and having that goal at the end of it. And once you start to get closer and you start to say, in color, it makes it more full of life, and it keeps you going too, right? Because again, I think my goal, again, is not just for my family, but being able to do it for somebody else. Because right now, as going through that, looking for manufacturers, looking for folks to aid in that, has not been an easy portion of putting RLL together. So again, my desire is to be able, once I get this formula worked out, dream, believe, work, achieve, is to continue to share that with somebody else who's willing to do that and help give them a leg up in that space as well.
That's really huge. I know we're going to come back and talk more about that, about what it is that you are thinking with that, like what type of businesses is you're looking for. We're going to come back and talk more about like what that looks like with that. And I'm excited about that, because you've got some real plans for how other businesses can take advantage of the remarkable products it is that you're creating, and how they can be able to really grow more and be able to do more and be able to get those things knocked out. And so I'm super excited about getting that together. We'll be back with more of the Team Crushing It podcast right here in just a few moments.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
And welcome back to the Team Crushing It podcast. I am your host, Ojinga Carr, certified high performance coach. This has been an amazing episode. I hope that you guys are really taking notes on how it is, because look, I want to give you stories. I want to give you stories of people who are achieving things in their life and how it is we use that success recipe in order to be able to move forward. That's what it's really about. Forward propelling. How do we do so? So I'm here with Tina Scales of Rosalie Organics. She's doing just amazing things on the beauty side. I thank you so much for spending this time with me. Let's talk about, you got some interesting things that you're doing. So you got some products that people need to help. And so you're not just, the people need for help. And so you're not just thinking about this from a retail perspective of a direct to customer. You have some direct to business opportunities as well too. So tell me about that.
That is correct. So with the body butters that we have, right? So we're looking to partner with estheticians and folks that are doing pedicures and even tattoo parlors. During the pandemic, right, those are some of the areas that may have struggled. And so we want to be able to provide so they can do some private labeling. We have a pain butter that we feel that would be very useful when folks are getting tattoos. It's very important to kind of keep that area moisturized, and it kind of brings that tattoo back to life. So doing some partnerships there with estheticians as well, right? So they're working on things that they may need specifically for their client base. Again, taking that data information and then being able to curate things specifically for them and partnering in that area. And then we have, again, a lovely Foot So Soft. A lot of people have said, made it through the pandemic without a pedicure using just the Foot So Soft. So taking, again, and leveraging to give those folks who are doing those jobs an opportunity to have a product themselves, right? That they can sell and contribute and make funds out of that, other than just doing the actual service work.
And that's amazing, because it really gives them a business opportunity in order to be able to grow, because like you said, by white labeling, they could put something in their salon where they are selling that and being able to make profits from it. So it's another line, a stream of income for the business owner. And so that's awesome that you're doing that as it relates to that. I mean, so you were looking at even some things on the, like with the Foot So Soft, even like with the pedicure side, with making where it's like a full pedicure kit or something along those lines, right?
Absolutely. Right. So we're looking to put that together with the foot mask, the butter, and then some utensils and the little socks that you can add to that, so that people can have that kit. And again, for me, it's more important for us to be successful, but I think I get more joy of seeing other people successful. So anything that, again, that we can help those that maybe elevate their business and work in collaboration together, I think is just better with the team. I'm just a firm believer in that.
It is. You know, when we build that success, building that success is all about how it is we can help other people. That's what it ultimately is for me. I know that if I'm going to be as successful as I'd like to be, it's about me building other people's success and being able to help other people with it and do it. So, Tina, I just appreciate everything it is that you're doing and the different ways you have to do so. Please, people, you know that in the links to this and in the podcast, there is the way to be able to contact Tina as well. So if you're in one of those fields from a business perspective, definitely contact her. And also definitely go to the website and order more of the organics and see how great they are. I'm a believer. I use them all the time. As far as I never would think I'd be a guy saying I use body butters, but they have them in all kind of different scents and unscented as well. And so it is great. And for me, honestly, I have pain from sports and in my legs, and the pain butter is really great for me. It really does well for me and allows for me to be able to be the best it is that I can with me moving around and everything else. And so I'm appreciative for what it is that you do and for what you do from really caring about what goes in, the ingredients that go in, and really caring about what it is to be able to do so. So Tina, it's been amazing. I appreciate you. Now we got to figure out how do we repeat that success.
Yes.
So we can repeat it and be able to figure out how do we continue to do so. And so we're going to go out and do that. So until next time here on the Team Crushing It podcast, go out and figure out how it is that we can achieve what it is that we want to do in our life. For Tina Scales with Rosalie Organics, my name is Ojinga Carr, certified high performance coach, and we'll be back with another episode of the Team Crushing It podcast.